Yesterday we read that how the little girl was punished by her father. Now today let us continue further. The McDonalds lived next door. McDonald's means McDonald family. McDonald's was the surname. They lived in the neighboring area. They had 5 children. The McDonald's family had 5 children. Looking through a gap in the fence, the little girl saw them playing tag in the evening. Tag is the game. The father with the baby, Mao, on his shoulders, 2 little girls hanging onto his coat pockets, ran round and round the flower beds, shaking with laughter. How happy they all were. This girl used to see them through a gap in the fence. Once she saw the boys turn the hose on him, and he tried to catch them, laughing all the time. Hose here is to give the turn to catch. Then it was she decided there were different sorts of fathers. At looking this family, she decided that there were different sorts of fathers. One was her own, and another was this Mr. McDonald. Suddenly one day, mother became ill, and she and grandmother went to hospital. She here refers to the mother. The little girl was left alone in the house with Alice, the cook. That was all right in the daytime. That was all right in the daytime, but while Alice was putting her to bed, she grew suddenly afraid. What will I do if I have a nightmare? Nightmare is a bad dream, she asked. I often have nightmares and then Granny takes me into her bed. I can't stay in the dark. It all gets whispery. Whispery is the slow sounds which generally scares some people. So this girl was also scared of the darkness and the sounds she could hear. So she was asking her cook what would she do if again she'll have the nightmare in absence of the grandmother. You just go to sleep, child, said Alice, pulling off her socks, and don't you scream and wake your poor pa. Poor father, poor in the sense as he was alone and he had to do a lot of work during the day, and now nobody was at home to take care of them. So, in that sense, Alice called the father poor. But the same old nightmare came, and that was the butcher with a knife and a rope, who came nearer and nearer, smiling that dreadful smile, while she could not move, could only stand still, crying out, Grandma, Grandma! She woke shivering to see father beside her bed, a candle in his hand. Crying loudly, Grandma, Grandma, she woke up, shivering. And what did she see? She saw her father beside her bed, a candle in his hand. What's the matter? He said. The father asked his daughter what was the matter. Oh, a butcher, a knife, I want Granny. He blew out the candle, bent down, and caught up the child in his arms. Carrying her along the passage to the big bedroom, means the father took the child in his arms and took her to his own big bedroom. A newspaper was on the bed. Newspaper was spread on the bed. He put away the paper, then carefully tucked up the child, covered up nicely in bed with the bedclothes. He lay down beside her, half asleep still with the bitter smile all about her, it seemed. The girl was half asleep, and still she had the bitter smile all about her, it seemed so. She crept closer to him. Crept is the second form of creep, means to crawl. She crawled close to him, snuggled her head under his arm. Snuggled is moved into a warm, comfortable position close to another person. So, snuggled her head under his arm, held tightly to his shirt. As the poor child was scared, she snuggled her head under her father's arm and held tightly to his shirt. Then the dark did not matter. Now the dark did not matter anymore. She lay still. She did not move. She lay still. Now maybe she was mentally satisfied and she was no more scared. Here, rub your feet against my legs and get them warm, said father. The father asked the child to rub her feet against his legs to make them warm because it was cold and the girl was shivering with cold also due to the fear. So father offered her to rub her feet against his legs.